We are but specks of dust against the backdrop of the vast cosmic ocean. But it is this cosmos, this ocean, that has given us life and consciousness to understand our place in the universe. When we look at Earth from space, we are presented with a grand and awe-inspiring spectacle, a fragile blue orb, wrapped in a thin atmosphere, floating in the vast, silent expanses of what appears to be an infinite universe. From this perspective, our planet seems almost perfect, calm, serene, as if balancing on the edge of absolute equilibrium between natural forces. But this image can be misleading if we do not consider how complex and delicate the mechanisms of life and the dynamic processes that sustain it on Earth truly are. Earth is not just one of many planets orbiting an ordinary star in an ordinary galaxy. It is not merely a celestial body that we call home. Earth is a living organism, intricately woven with natural forces, biological processes, climate systems, geology, and much more. It represents a remarkable balance between resilience and fragility, continuous renewal and potential catastrophe, harmony and destruction. And it is in this complexity that its greatness lies. The uniqueness of Earth among planets. Earth stands out not only among the planets of our solar system but also, as far as we know, throughout the entire universe. It is the only known planet where liquid water exists on the surface, a fundamental condition for life. Earth's oceans cover more than 70% of its surface, and they are not just vast bodies of water filling depressions in the Earth's crust. The oceans are living systems where many key processes occur, ensuring climate stability and supporting life. It was in the oceans that life first emerged billions of years ago, and since then, water has remained the most vital source of life and one of the main factors that make Earth unique. But water on Earth is more than just a physical substance. It plays a crucial role in sustaining the entire biosphere, participating in climate cycles, regulating temperature and humidity, transporting nutrients, and supporting ecosystems. Without water, life on Earth as we know it would not exist. Oceans, the cradle of life. Earth's oceans are more than just vast bodies of water. They are an integral part of the system that sustains life on the planet. In these salty waters, life first emerged billions of years ago, and since then, the oceans have remained a vital link in the chain of biodiversity. They are home to millions of species of living organisms, from tiny plankton to giant whales, and all of them play a role in maintaining the planet's ecosystem. Moreover, the oceans play a crucial role in Earth's climate system. They absorb solar energy, redistribute heat around the planet, and regulate global temperatures. Ocean currents, such as the Gulf Stream, transport heat from the equator to the poles, moderating climates in coastal regions and influencing weather patterns around the world. This heat transfer mechanism, functioning over millennia, allows for relative climate equilibrium, which is so vital for life on Earth. However, this thermal regulation system can be disrupted, leading to climate change. Excessive accumulation of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, a result of human activities, increases the greenhouse effect, forcing the oceans to absorb more heat. This causes ocean warming, which in turn leads to the melting of polar ice, rising sea levels, and changes in climate patterns, such as more intense hurricanes and shifts in monsoon trajectories. The atmosphere, life's protective shield. Alongside the oceans, the atmosphere plays a key role in sustaining life on Earth. It is a thin layer of gases enveloping the planet that protects us from harsh cosmic radiation, meteorites, and other external threats. This thin barrier also traps the heat necessary for maintaining a stable climate. Without the atmosphere, our planet would turn into a cold and lifeless world, much like Mars. Earth's atmosphere is composed of nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, argon, and other gases, each playing a vital role in supporting life. For example, oxygen is necessary for the respiration of all aerobic organisms, while carbon dioxide is essential for photosynthesis, which takes place in plants and algae and serves as the primary source of oxygen on the planet. Moreover, the atmosphere helps maintain the planet's temperature balance by creating a greenhouse effect. Without this effect, the average temperature on Earth would be around -18 degrees Celsius, making life on most of the planet impossible. However, an excess of greenhouse gases can lead to the planet's overheating, as seen on Venus, where surface temperatures reach 460 degrees Celsius due to a powerful greenhouse effect. Climate and its impact on life. Earth's climate is a dynamic and complex system that influences all aspects of life on the planet. It is determined by numerous factors, including solar activity, ocean currents, atmospheric pressure, geological processes, and human activity. All these elements interact to create intricate climate patterns, which can vary over short periods, weather, and over longer timescales. Climate change. Climate change is not a new phenomenon. Throughout Earth's history, the climate has changed many times. There have been ice ages when vast parts of the land were covered with ice, and there have been warm periods when polar ice was almost non-existent. These changes occurred naturally, primarily due to changes in Earth's orbit, solar activity, and volcanic activity. However, in recent decades, we have observed unprecedentedly rapid climate changes caused by human activity. The burning of fossil fuels, deforestation, industrial agriculture, and other factors have led to an increase in the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, causing global warming. This, in turn, leads to the melting of glaciers, rising sea levels, changing weather patterns, and loss of biodiversity. The consequences of climate change could be catastrophic. Melting polar ice could flood coastal cities, changing precipitation patterns could cause droughts and famine, and extreme weather events such as hurricanes and floods could become even more destructive. These changes threaten not only human communities but also the entire ecosystem of the planet. Earth's geological activity. Earth is a dynamic planet, constantly changing under the influence of internal and external forces. Geological activity, such as tectonic processes, volcanism, and earthquakes, plays a crucial role in shaping the planet's landscape and maintaining conditions necessary for life. Tectonic plates moving on Earth's surface form mountains, rifts, and oceanic trenches. These movements create continents and change their positions, which has a significant impact on climate and ecosystems. For example, the movement of tectonic plates led to the formation of the Himalayas, which dramatically influenced the climate in Asia. Volcanoes, releasing lava and gases into the atmosphere, also play a vital role in maintaining balance on the planet. Volcanic eruptions can temporarily cool the planet by ejecting particles into the atmosphere that block sunlight. They also contribute to the redistribution of carbon between the atmosphere and the land. Earthquakes, although destructive to human civilization, are also an important part of Earth's geological activity. They help release tension accumulated in the Earth's crust and promote the movement of materials necessary for sustaining geological cycles. The biosphere, Earth's living layer. The biosphere is the thin layer of life that surrounds Earth and includes all living organisms. It extends from the deepest ocean trenches to the upper layers of the atmosphere and is one of the most remarkable phenomena on our planet. Life on Earth is incredibly diverse and adaptive. There are numerous ecosystems, each unique and playing its role in maintaining the global balance. Living organisms interact with non-living components of ecosystems, creating complex networks of relationships. Plants, for example, absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and produce oxygen through photosynthesis, which is essential for the respiration of all animals. Animals, in turn, consume plants and participate in the recycling of organic matter, ensuring the circulation of substances within ecosystems. The interactions between different species and elements of the ecosystem create stable, self-regulating systems that can adapt to environmental changes. However, these systems can also be fragile and vulnerable to human activities such as deforestation, pollution, and climate change. The fragility and grandeur of Earth. Continuation. Earth is an astonishingly complex and harmonious system where every interaction, every element, plays a vital role in maintaining balance and creating the conditions necessary for life. However, the grandeur of this system lies not only in its scale and diversity but also in its fragility. At first glance, Earth may seem unshakable and indestructible, a vast planet where natural processes unfold slowly and gradually. Yet, in reality, even the slightest change in one part of the system can have profound effects on the entire planet. This fragility becomes evident when we consider the climate changes that are already occurring at an alarming rate. Over a relatively short period in human history, we have witnessed how our actions, such as the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation, have impacted the natural processes that have sustained a stable climate and thriving ecosystems for millions of years. Rising temperatures, melting polar ice, changes in weather patterns, and the loss of biodiversity are all signs that we have already begun to interfere with Earth's complex and delicate system. This fact underscores the importance of recognizing the responsibility we bear toward our planet. Earth is not an unlimited resource to be exploited endlessly. Its ecosystems and climate system have limits, and if we do not begin to respect these limits, we may witness even more devastating changes than those already unfolding. Earth in the context of the universe. On a global scale, Earth is but a tiny grain of sand in the vastness of the universe. Our planet orbits a mid-sized star in one of the many spiral arms of the Milky Way galaxy. Its size and age are minuscule compared to the vastness of the universe, yet on this small blue planet, a unique phenomenon called life has emerged. For cosmic observers viewing our planet from afar, Earth would appear as a barely noticeable point of light among countless stars. This perspective is important not only from a scientific standpoint but also from a philosophical one. It reminds us that we are not the center of the universe. We are merely one of many forms of existence, one of the infinite possibilities that could have evolved in different parts of the cosmos. However, despite its insignificance on the cosmic scale, Earth is a unique place. So far, it is the only known planet where intelligent life exists, capable of reflecting on its own existence, asking questions about the nature of the universe, and striving to understand its place within it. This alone makes Earth a place of immense significance in our search for meaning and truth. The importance of studying the planet. One of humanity's greatest achievements is the ability to study its planet and understand its internal processes. For millennia, humans have explored the world around them, from the simplest observations of natural cycles to complex scientific expeditions and space missions. Studying Earth has allowed us to learn about its history, dynamics, climate, atmosphere, geological processes, and the life that exists on its surface. Geology, biology, climatology, and many other sciences combine to create a comprehensive picture of our planet. We understand that Earth is the result of billions of years of evolution, both physical and biological. Its mountains, rivers, oceans, and deserts have been shaped over millions of years by tectonic processes, erosion, and climate changes. Life on Earth has also undergone a long evolutionary journey, from the simplest microorganisms to complex ecosystems and intelligent beings. However, the more we learn about our planet, the clearer it becomes that our knowledge is far from complete. With each new discovery, new questions arise, and the study of Earth becomes increasingly relevant, especially in the face of climate change and human impact. Scientific research helps us better understand how the planet functions and how we can minimize our impact on it. Earth is part of the cosmic system. Our planet is not isolated from the rest of the universe. It is part of a cosmic system that constantly influences it. Earth receives energy from the Sun, a star that provides us with the light and warmth necessary for life. The Moon affects tides and helps stabilize Earth's axial tilt, which contributes to climate stability. Additionally, processes occurring beyond our planet's atmosphere, such as solar activity and meteorite impacts, can also influence Earth. The solar system, of which Earth is a part, orbits the center of our galaxy, and this galaxy, in turn, is just one of billions in the universe. On a cosmic scale, Earth is a tiny body connected to endless processes occurring on various levels and timescales. These processes remind us that our planet is far more than just a place we live on. It is part of an ongoing cosmic dance unfolding through time and space. Studying Earth in a cosmic context. The study of Earth has always been closely linked to the study of space. Space missions and observations using telescopes have allowed us to see our planet from a new perspective. Satellites launched into Earth's orbit enable us to study its atmosphere, climate changes, and ecological processes with unprecedented accuracy. Moreover, the study of other planets in the solar system, such as Mars and Venus, provides unique opportunities to compare and understand the processes happening on Earth. Comparative planetary studies allow us to better understand how planets form, how they evolve, and what factors can make them habitable. For example, studying Venus, where surface temperatures exceed 460 degrees Celsius due to the greenhouse effect, helps us better understand the potential climate changes that Earth might face if we do not take measures to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Similarly, research on Mars, where liquid water may once have existed, gives us clues about why one planet becomes habitable while another does not. The challenges of preserving the planet. Humanity stands at the threshold of an era where our impact on the planet has reached unprecedented scales. We have become the main driving force behind changes on Earth, and these changes are not always positive. Air, water, and soil pollution, biodiversity loss, deforestation, and climate change all threaten both the planet's ecosystems and our own existence. Climate change is one of the most serious threats humanity faces. Earth's temperature has already risen by 1.1 degrees Celsius compared to pre-industrial levels, leading to accelerated glacier melting, rising sea levels, and changing weather patterns. If global temperatures continue to rise, we may face catastrophic consequences, such as extreme weather events, droughts, floods, and the disappearance of entire ecosystems. In the face of such challenges, it becomes evident that our planet needs protection and care. Responsibility for the future of the planet. In the face of global environmental challenges, humanity has come to realize that the continued existence of Earth in its current state depends on our actions. We find ourselves at a unique moment in history where technology and knowledge give us the power to either destroy or restore our planet. But with this power comes great responsibility. To preserve Earth for future generations, we must take active steps to protect its ecosystems and stabilize climate processes. Nature has already shown its ability to self-heal on multiple occasions. Extinction events that occurred millions of years ago saw the planet undergo significant changes, yet it always found a new balance. However, what we are witnessing today goes beyond the natural cycle. Human activities, industry, agriculture, deforestation, and pollution, are putting unprecedented pressure on the planet at rates and scales Earth has never experienced in its history. Climate change, current and future consequences. Climate change is one of the most urgent threats humanity faces today. This phenomenon is already having a significant impact on the planet. Average global temperatures are rising, leading to serious climate anomalies. The polar ice caps are melting at an accelerating rate, causing sea levels to rise. As a result, millions of people living in coastal areas may soon face the necessity of relocation. Additionally, climate change is affecting agriculture and food security. Droughts are becoming more frequent and prolonged, destroying crops and threatening the livelihoods of millions who depend on agriculture for sustenance. In regions that once had stable ecosystems, extreme weather events, hurricanes, floods, wildfires, are becoming increasingly common. Such disasters not only endanger human lives but also disrupt ecosystems that have existed in relative balance for decades. Climate justice is another important aspect of the issue. Some regions and countries suffer more from climate change than others, despite having contributed the least to global pollution and greenhouse gas emissions. Poorer nations and communities dependent on natural resources are particularly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. Thus, protecting the planet requires not only scientific and technological efforts but also global solidarity, where wealthy nations help less developed ones cope with the challenges of the future. Earth's ecosystems and their importance. Every ecosystem on Earth plays a role in maintaining planetary balance. Forests, for example, perform a crucial function by absorbing carbon dioxide and producing oxygen. However, deforestation, especially in tropical regions like the Amazon, threatens these natural lungs of the planet. When forests are destroyed, carbon dioxide is released, enhancing the greenhouse effect, while the planet's ability to absorb CO2 is diminished. Oceans also play an essential role in regulating the climate. They absorb a large portion of the heat generated by greenhouse gases and serve as a critical reservoir for carbon dioxide. However, the rising temperature of oceans is having a devastating effect on marine ecosystems, including coral reefs, which are home to countless marine species. Coral reefs are like underwater forests, providing food and shelter for a multitude of marine organisms. Their disappearance could result in a loss of biodiversity on a scale that is difficult to comprehend. The importance of biodiversity. Biodiversity is another key aspect of the resilience of our planet. Every species on Earth plays a unique role in sustaining the ecosystem, and the loss of any one species can have unexpected consequences for the entire natural balance. In recent decades, the rate of species extinction has reached alarming proportions. Scientists speak of a sixth mass extinction caused by human factors, habitat destruction, climate change, pollution, and uncontrolled use of natural resources. Biodiversity is important not only for ecosystems but also for ourselves. Many species of plants, microorganisms, and animals that we have yet to study may hold the key to solving human problems, from developing new medicines to sustainable agriculture. Furthermore, the loss of biodiversity makes ecosystems less resilient to changes, which, in turn, could threaten human existence. As ecosystems collapse and biodiversity declines, we must understand that every element of this system is interconnected. Nature does not exist in isolation, it is a unified web of interactions where each link supports the vitality of another. If we disrupt this fragile web, the consequences could be unpredictable and devastating. Ethical questions and philosophical reflections on Earth. As we reflect on the grandeur and fragility of our planet, we are confronted with profound philosophical questions about our responsibility toward Earth and future generations. How should we treat nature? What is our place in this vast cosmos, and what makes Earth so special? These questions prompt us to consider how we use the planet's resources, how we interact with the environment, and how we can create a more sustainable civilization. Ethical questions become particularly relevant in the context of climate change. We are obligated to consider not only the consequences of our actions for ourselves but also for future generations and for all forms of life that share this planet with us. Our planet is not just a home for humans but for countless other creatures, each of which has its own intrinsic value. Ecological issues also raise deeper reflections on how we should value nature. Is nature something that exists solely for our use? Or does it have an inherent worth that we are obliged to respect? These philosophical reflections have practical significance. They can help us develop a more sustainable approach to interacting with the environment. The path to a sustainable future. Recognizing that Earth is a fragile system requires us to find ways toward a more sustainable future. Sustainability is the ability of a system to adapt to changes and continue functioning without depleting its foundation. To ensure such a future, we must rethink our habits and approaches to the use of natural resources. One important step toward sustainability is transitioning to renewable energy sources, such as solar, wind, and hydroelectric power. These energy sources are far less harmful to the environment than the burning of fossil fuels and can help us reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Additionally, we need to develop more efficient methods of conserving natural resources, such as water and soil. However, technological innovations are only part of the solution. We also need to change our worldview and attitude toward the planet. We must shift from a consumer culture to one of conservation and respect for nature. A culture of conscious consumption and respect for nature. One of the most important aspects of a sustainable future is the development of a culture of conscious consumption. Modern society is accustomed to the unlimited use of the planet's resources, but Earth's resources are not infinite. Recognizing this fact should lead us to rethink our approach to the things we consume daily, from food to energy and materials used in production. A culture of conscious consumption implies that each of us should begin by asking ourselves, do we really need this product or resource? What are the consequences of its production and disposal? What alternatives might be more environmentally friendly? A simple example is switching to reusable products instead of disposable ones, such as plastic bags, bottles, or dishes. This is a step towards reducing the amount of waste we produce daily and an important part of the fight against environmental pollution. Additionally, conscious consumption includes understanding how our dietary habits affect the planet. Industrial agriculture is one of the largest sources of greenhouse gases and also contributes to biodiversity loss and soil degradation. Transitioning to a more balanced diet that includes more plant-based foods can significantly reduce each person's environmental footprint. Reducing the consumption of meat and other animal products also helps reduce the strain on agricultural resources and limits deforestation for pastures. Conscious consumption is not only an economic choice but also an expression of respect for nature. In ancient cultures, nature was often regarded as sacred, deserving of reverence and respect. This approach, despite technological progress, remains relevant today. The Earth, as our shared home, should not be viewed as an object for unlimited use, but as a living system with which we are connected. Technology and innovation for planetary protection. While conscious consumption and respect for nature play key roles in preserving the Earth, technology and scientific innovations also have enormous potential to address environmental challenges. In recent decades, numerous developments have emerged aimed at reducing humanity's harmful impact on the environment. One such example is renewable energy sources. Wind power, solar panels, hydroelectricity, and geothermal energy are all technologies that can replace fossil fuels, which are largely responsible for greenhouse gas emissions. Innovations in energy allow us to move away from dependence on coal, oil, and gas toward cleaner and more sustainable energy sources. Other significant technologies include advancements in waste recycling systems. Instead of burying millions of tons of waste in landfills, we can recycle a large portion of materials such as plastic, metal, glass, and organic waste. Recycling not only reduces the volume of waste but also decreases the need for new resource extraction, which is vital for preserving natural ecosystems. Scientific research in ecology and biodiversity also provides tools for restoring degraded ecosystems. Projects focused on the restoration of forests, water bodies, and wetlands help revive ecosystems that have lost their biological productivity. Restoring natural systems not only improves the ecological situation in specific regions but also helps combat climate change by absorbing carbon dioxide through vegetation and soils. One of the most promising areas of scientific development is the creation of green building technologies and urban planning. Sustainable cities using energy-efficient technologies, green roofs, and rainwater collection systems can significantly reduce the negative impact on nature. The development of infrastructure for electric vehicles, public transportation, and bicycle paths also helps reduce air pollution and cut carbon emissions. Education and awareness as the key to change. One of the main factors that will enable humanity to cope with global environmental challenges is education. Awareness of the importance of environmental conservation and sustainable use of natural resources must become a priority at all levels of education, from schools to universities. Knowledge about how ecosystems function, what processes occur in the atmosphere, and how human activities affect nature will help raise a new generation that will be more responsible toward the planet. But education is not only formal learning. Media, documentaries, books, podcasts, and other forms of popular science play a significant role. It is important that information about global environmental challenges be accessible to a wide audience. Every person should understand how their personal actions can impact the environment, whether it's their food choices, energy use, or transportation preferences. Moreover, education should promote critical thinking, helping people independently evaluate the credibility of information related to ecology and climate change. In a world where there are many opinions and often contradictory data, critical thinking helps separate scientific facts from myths and misinformation. Global cooperation for planetary protection. Preserving Earth and preventing catastrophic climate change is a task that requires global cooperation. No single country can tackle the challenges that affect the entire world. International agreements, such as the Paris Climate Agreement, demonstrate the importance of coordinated efforts by all nations to combat global warming and its consequences. However, signing treaties is not enough. Countries must take active steps at the national level to fulfill their commitments to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and protect biodiversity. This requires reforms in the energy, agriculture, industry, and transportation sectors. Transitioning to a green economy requires investment, but it also opens new opportunities for development, job creation, and improving quality of life. Alongside governmental action, civil society plays an important role. Environmental organizations, activists, and scientists are already working hard to raise public awareness about environmental issues and climate change. These efforts help foster a widespread understanding of the importance of protecting nature and the need to change our habits and behaviors. The philosophy of a sustainable future. Reflections on Earth's future lead us to a philosophical understanding of our role in this world. As a species, we have a unique ability for self-awareness and reflection. We are capable of understanding not only our existence but also the consequences of our actions for other living beings and for the planet as a whole. This awareness places a special responsibility on us. The philosophy of a sustainable future must include the understanding that we are not masters of nature but part of it. We depend on ecosystems that sustain our lives and must care for them as we care for our homes and families. This understanding should permeate all aspects of our lives, from economics and politics to culture and science. It is also important to consider what kind of future we want to create for ourselves and future generations. Will it be a world where ecosystems are destroyed and biodiversity lost, or will it be a world where humans live in harmony with nature, using its resources wisely and responsibly? These questions require not only scientific solutions but also deep moral and ethical reflection. Conclusion: Earth as our home and teacher. Earth is not just a planet we live on. It is our home, the source of life, a teacher, and a reminder of how closely interconnected all elements of this world are. We exist thanks to an incredible web of interactions that has sustained life for billions of years. And now we face the most important task: to preserve this home so that it can continue to support life for all beings that live here today and for those who will come after us. Each of us bears responsibility for the future of the planet. Our daily choices, whether related to energy use, dietary habits, or transportation, impact the environment. We must strive to ensure that our actions are aimed at protecting nature and maintaining the balance that is so essential for the continuation of life on Earth. Our planet is the only known world where life exists. We are just beginning to understand the complexity and beauty of the processes that occur here, and perhaps even more astonishing discoveries lie ahead. But for these discoveries to be possible, we must respect and protect the fragile world that gives us life. The unity of life and nature, a philosophy of planetary awareness. Earth is not only a home for humanity, but also a symbol of the unity of all living things. This blue orb, floating in the vast expanse of space, connects billions of living beings in a single ecosystem, where each form of life is interdependent. Just as every creature plays a role in maintaining the planet's life cycle, each of us can contribute to its preservation. When we begin to see Earth as a living organism, it becomes clear that our existence and well-being depend on the health of this organism. This concept of planetary awareness teaches us to view the world holistically, perceiving Earth as an interconnected system where humans are just one part of a greater whole. We cannot exploit resources indefinitely without impacting other aspects of this system. Everything has consequences. This realization is becoming increasingly urgent in an era when ecological and climate crises are intensifying. Restoring harmony between humanity and nature. Many ancient cultures viewed humans as part of nature, not as its rulers. This approach has been lost in today's consumer-driven world, where nature is primarily seen as a resource. However, humanity is beginning to return to the understanding that only harmonious coexistence with nature can ensure our future. Restoring harmony means not only abandoning destructive practices, but also taking active steps to restore lost ecosystems and mitigate the damage done to natural resources. This includes reforestation, cleaning up water bodies, protecting endangered species, and creating more sustainable production methods. Restoring damaged natural systems also requires reviving lost cultural heritage and traditional knowledge, which helped people live in harmony with nature for millennia. Examples of such efforts include global reforestation programs, like the Great Green Wall project in Africa, aimed at creating a green barrier against desertification and climate change. The growing popularity of regenerative agriculture, methods focused on restoring soils and ecosystems through organic farming and reducing chemical use, also illustrates this shift. Ethical responsibility of humanity. Conscious attitudes toward nature are inseparable from the ethical choices humanity faces. The question of preserving Earth is not only about us, but also about future generations. Our actions impact those who will come after us, and our decisions determine what kind of world they will inherit. Responsibility to future generations requires understanding that the planet's resources are limited. We cannot continue to use the land, water, and air indefinitely without depleting them. Ethical responsibility involves respect for the other forms of life that inhabit Earth alongside us, recognizing that each has the right to exist. By destroying ecosystems, we not only harm nature but also disrupt the ethical balance that sustains all living things. The ethical question of our place in nature also brings us to the realization of the importance of equity among different countries and regions. Many of the regions most vulnerable to climate change are countries that have contributed the least to global carbon emissions, yet they face the most severe consequences. This creates the need for global justice and mutual assistance, where more developed countries must help less developed ones cope with the challenges of climate change and conserve natural resources for future generations. The spiritual dimension of planetary preservation. Environmental advocates often speak about the spiritual dimension of caring for the planet. Viewing Earth as a sacred home that we temporarily inhabit opens new horizons in our relationship with nature. This approach to planetary preservation is not limited to technological or scientific solutions, it requires deep reflection on our place in the universe and our connection to nature on a more profound, spiritual level. Many religious and spiritual traditions view Earth as a living entity deserving of respect and care. This perspective gives us additional motivation to care for the planet, as it calls us to a deeper awareness of our interdependence with the natural world. Earth is not merely a resource to meet our material needs, it is a home we share with other forms of life, each of which has its own unique value and significance. Art and culture as a reflection of our connection to Earth. Art and culture play an important role in shaping our perception of nature and our place on the planet. Artists, writers, musicians, and poets have drawn inspiration from the beauty of Earth for centuries, striving to convey it in their works. These creative expressions help us to better understand the significance of nature and awaken in us a sense of awe and gratitude for the planet's majesty. Films, documentaries, and literature dedicated to nature and its conservation are powerful tools for raising awareness and inspiring action. Examples such as David Attenborough's documentaries have allowed millions of viewers to witness the vulnerability of our planet and understand the urgency of protecting it. Art can not only inspire but also serve as a powerful tool for drawing attention to global environmental issues. A culture of nature conservation should become part of public consciousness as well as everyday life. This means learning to see the beauty and value of nature in daily things, in the parks we visit, the river flowing by our homes, in every tree and every animal. This awareness not only helps us care for nature but also reminds us that we are part of this vast planetary system. Future prospects, technology and awareness. Technology can either pose a threat to the planet or be its salvation. On the one hand, many environmental crises were triggered by the Industrial Revolution and technological development, which altered humanity's relationship with nature. On the other hand, technological innovations can help us find solutions to protect the planet. Renewable energy sources, sustainable agricultural methods, green technologies, and waste recycling systems are just a few of the innovations that can help minimize our impact on the environment. However, technology alone is not enough. Equally important is the development of collective awareness, understanding that we all share the responsibility for preserving the planet. Conclusion: Earth, our priceless heritage. When we look at Earth from space, we see not just a planet. We see our home, our shared history, our shared future. This small blue sphere, floating in the vastness of the universe, is the only known place where life exists. Our actions today will determine whether this miracle will endure for future generations. Each of us can contribute to preserving this priceless heritage. It is essential to realize that all our actions, even the smallest ones, matter. Whether it's reducing single-use plastic, switching to renewable energy, participating in reforestation efforts, or simply spreading awareness of the importance of nature conservation, all these are steps toward a better future. Earth is our home, and it needs our care and love. It is the place where life arose and continues to thrive despite all challenges. We must protect this fragile planet so it can continue to support life for millions of beings. In the end, Earth is not just our heritage but also our future. The future perspective, Earth in the age of change. We live in an era of profound change, where humanity's impact on Earth has reached unprecedented levels. This period is often referred to as the Anthropocene, the age when human activity has become the dominant geological and climatic force on the planet. In this time, we are facing a range of crises, but at the same time, we are presented with opportunities to rethink our relationship with the planet and our interaction with nature. Transitioning to a sustainable future requires not only technological solutions and changes in our habits but also a new philosophy grounded in deep respect for life and awareness of our place in the world. We must learn not only to use nature's resources but to restore and sustain them, keeping in mind the needs of future generations and all living beings. This demands courage, collective effort, and conscious decision-making. The role of the younger generation. The younger generation plays a central role in the fight to preserve the planet. Today's youth are growing up in a world where climate change, biodiversity loss, and ecological crises are already a reality. They understand the importance of actions aimed at protecting nature and are increasingly becoming leaders in global environmental movements. One of the most prominent examples is the Fridays for Future movement, inspired by Swedish activist Greta Thunberg. This movement has united millions of young people around the world who demand urgent action from governments and corporations to combat climate change. These young leaders, driven by a sense of responsibility for the future, are making their voices heard and initiating important conversations about the world we will leave to our children and grandchildren. It is crucial that these efforts are supported by adults, scientists, politicians, and businesses. The future requires the synergy of all generations, united by a common goal, to preserve Earth. Youth bring fresh ideas, energy, and passion, but real change requires the participation of all layers of society. Technology and nature, creating a symbiosis. One of the key questions of our time is how humanity can achieve a symbiosis with nature, using technology to improve life without destroying the environment. The future of our planet lies in this question. Throughout history, we have used technology to adapt to nature and enhance our capabilities. However, today, we must rethink our relationship with technology. Innovation can become our greatest ally in the fight for a sustainable future. For example, bioengineering and restoration technologies could allow us to rebuild lost ecosystems, improve air and water quality, and discover new ways to produce food with less impact on nature. Genetic technologies could help save endangered species and create sustainable agricultural systems. Smart city technologies could also transform our urban environments, making them more eco-friendly and livable. The cities of the future will use renewable energy, waste recycling systems, and green infrastructures, such as parks, rooftop gardens, and public spaces that help mitigate the environmental impact of urbanization. Nature as a teacher. Nature is our best teacher. Over billions of years of evolution, it has developed solutions that allow life to thrive under the harshest conditions. From observing animal behavior to studying complex ecosystems, there is much we can learn from nature. This process is called biomimicry, using nature's principles to create more sustainable technologies and systems. Nature shows us that sustainability and balance are only possible when all elements of a system work in harmony. For example, in a forest, every element, from trees to soil microorganisms, plays a role in maintaining the ecosystem. Nothing is wasted, everything is recycled and reused. We can draw inspiration from these principles to create a circular economy, where waste is not accumulated but reintegrated into new production processes. Biomimicry can help us design new materials, buildings, and energy systems that work in harmony with the environment rather than against it. For instance, scientists are already developing solar panels inspired by plant leaves and building materials that mimic the strength and lightness of animal bones. The future of Earth, global responsibility. The challenges of preserving the planet are not confined to one country or one continent. These are global challenges that require collective solutions. Every nation and every person must recognize their role in the fight for Earth's future. The development of international agreements, such as the Paris Climate Agreement, demonstrates that the world is beginning to understand the importance of coordinated action. However, policies alone are not enough. Deep changes in global consciousness are necessary. Environmental issues cannot be viewed in isolation from social justice and economic development. Poorer countries, which have contributed the least to polluting the planet, suffer the most from the consequences of climate change. Global responsibility must include not only efforts to reduce carbon emissions but also support for countries that need help adapting to changing conditions. We must work towards creating a more equitable world, where every country and every person has access to the resources and opportunities needed for sustainable development. This requires investments in education, healthcare, clean energy, and technologies that can help the world's poorest regions adapt to new realities. Hope for a better future. Despite the difficulties humanity faces, we have every reason to hope for a better future. History shows that people are capable of great achievements when they unite for a common cause. We have already seen examples of how technological breakthroughs and social movements can change the world for the better. If we can unite our efforts, harness the power of science and technology, and remember the spiritual and ethical aspects of our actions, we have a chance to create a world where humanity lives in harmony with nature. This path will not be easy, and it will require profound changes, both in our habits and in our thinking. But it is precisely these changes that can lead to a world where Earth thrives, and life is safe and just for all its inhabitants. Earth, humanity's cosmic legacy. Earth is not just a planet in our solar system. It is our cradle, our only home, which gave us life. For millions of years, it has nurtured complex systems that made the emergence of humanity possible. And now it is our task to preserve this planet for future generations. Perhaps one day, humanity will travel to other stars and colonize new worlds. But Earth will always be our first home, the place where our journey began. Like any home, it requires care, protection, and respect. Earth is not only our present, but it is also our cosmic legacy, which we must safeguard. Every step we take to protect Earth is a step toward a better future. And that future will depend on the choices we make today, whether we can unite for the preservation of this unique world. Against the backdrop of silent stars and the cold cosmos, our fragile blue orb is the place where life found its foothold, and where it continues to fight for its existence. Earth is a source of inspiration for humanity. For millennia, Earth has inspired humans to make great discoveries, achieve creative feats, and engage in philosophical reflection. This blue sphere, striking in its beauty and harmony, has been the source of countless myths, legends, and religious teachings. Earth symbolized motherhood, life, stability, and rebirth. In various cultures, it has been seen as a divine being, an object of worship, and a symbol of the connection between humanity and the universe. Today, as science reveals new horizons in understanding Earth's nature, our admiration for it has not diminished but deepened. We are beginning to see Earth in a new light, as a complex system where everything is interconnected. Every atom, every creature, every form of life on the planet interacts with others in this grand symphony. This inspiration motivates us not only to love our planet but also to take action to protect it. Earth in the era of space expansion. We live in a unique time when, for the first time in history, humans have begun to explore space. Missions to Mars, the exploration of the Moon, and the study of distant star systems give us hope that one day we will travel to other worlds. However, despite these exciting prospects, we must not forget that Earth is our only home, and no other planet yet discovered offers the same conditions for life. Space exploration programs such as those led by NASA, ESA, and other space agencies are not only focused on finding new worlds but also help us better understand our own planet. Satellite data and the study of extraterrestrial objects provide vital information about Earth's climate, ecology, and resources. As it turns out, space and Earth are inseparable. By studying other worlds, we gain a deeper appreciation of the uniqueness of our own. Protecting Earth in the context of cosmic responsibility. As we venture into space, humanity also faces a new responsibility, not only for our planet but for the universe. Questions about how we will interact with other worlds, how we will protect extraterrestrial ecosystems, and how we can avoid polluting the cosmic environment are becoming increasingly relevant. This responsibility begins with our own planet. If we cannot protect and preserve Earth, how can we hope to treat other planets and their potential forms of life with respect? This new era of space exploration offers us an opportunity to reassess our relationship with life and nature. We can use our knowledge and technology to create harmony both on Earth and in space. Rather than continuing to deplete and exploit natural resources, we can develop a culture of care and responsibility, both on our planet and beyond. Earth as a home for all living beings. One of the most important lessons we can draw from our understanding of Earth is that it is home not only to humans but to millions of other life forms. We share the planet with an incredible diversity of species, from microscopic bacteria to giant whales. Each of these species plays a role in maintaining the balance of ecosystems. Humanity has a unique ability to be aware of its place in this world and make decisions that affect all living things. We have the choice of how to interact with nature. Will we respect and protect it, or continue to destroy and exploit its resources for short-term gain? Responsibility for other forms of life is not only an ethical issue but also a matter of survival. The ecosystems we destroy support our climate, air, and water. Without them, humans cannot survive. Protecting biodiversity is not just about saving animals and plants. It's about preserving the very foundation of life on Earth. When one species disappears, it can affect many others. All living things are connected in a complex web of interactions, and we must do everything we can to preserve this web for future generations. Lessons from history, what we can learn from the past. Human history shows that our interaction with nature has always been complex and multifaceted. Ancient civilizations like Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Maya relied on their natural resources. When these resources were depleted or natural disasters occurred, it often led to the decline and disappearance of entire cultures. These lessons from history illustrate the importance of considering the environment's impact on human civilization. At the same time, history teaches us that humanity is capable of adapting and finding solutions for survival. We have endured ice ages, climate changes, pandemics, and wars, yet we have always found ways to adjust. This lesson should inspire us to find new ways to protect the planet. Instead of ignoring environmental challenges, we must use our knowledge and resources to prevent crises. The wisdom of generations, passing down knowledge about Earth. Our planet is not just a physical space but a cultural legacy that we pass down from generation to generation. Each generation leaves its mark on Earth by creating art, literature, technology, and architecture. This rich cultural heritage is an essential part of the human experience, but it is also tied to nature, which has inspired and sustained humanity throughout history. Preserving Earth is not only an ecological task but also a cultural mission. We must pass on knowledge about nature and its significance to future generations, so they understand the importance of respecting the planet. This can include traditional knowledge from indigenous peoples, who have lived in harmony with nature for thousands of years, as well as modern scientific achievements and technologies. Education and awareness play a key role in this process. The more people know about their planet, its ecosystems, and its climate, the more they will value it and strive to protect it. We must cultivate a new generation of environmentally literate individuals who will be ready to make responsible decisions and care for Earth's future. Earth as a starting point. When we contemplate the universe and its vast expanses, Earth remains our constant point of reference, our starting point. It is the world where our story began, and it continues to be the place where each of us seeks answers to the most fundamental questions of life. Earth teaches us to recognize the beauty and fragility of life, the grandeur and simplicity of nature. Our planet is not just a resource or a place to live, it is a symbol of our unity and our future. The future of Earth depends on each of us. We can choose the path of destruction, leading to the depletion of resources and the extinction of countless species. Or we can choose the path of conscious development, where technology, culture, and nature coexist in harmony. Humanity's cosmic future, Earth's mission. As humanity ventures into space and explores new worlds, we must remember our duty to Earth. We must use all our knowledge and resources to protect this unique planet, even as we begin to explore and colonize space. For no matter where the future takes us, Earth will always be our cradle, our beginning, and a symbol that life can thrive in the most unexpected corners of the universe. Earth symbolizes everything that makes us human, our dreams, our quest for knowledge, our capacity to love and care. And if we can preserve this world, if we can learn to respect and value it, then perhaps we will not only survive but thrive, both on Earth and beyond. Conclusion: Earth, our shared home and hope. Earth is not just a planet, it is our history, our culture, and our future. It provides us with everything we need to live and asks in return only for respect and care. Our mission is to preserve this world for future generations, to pass it on as we knew it, and perhaps to make it even better. We stand before a unique opportunity to change the course of history. Each of us holds the power to shape the future of the planet, whether it will be a world where humans live in harmony with nature, or one where nature is lost forever. The answer lies in our actions and our awareness of Earth as the only home for all living things. Earth is not only our home but also our teacher. It teaches us that everything is interconnected, that every action has consequences. And if we can learn to respect this interconnectedness, we have every chance of creating a world where life continues to thrive on this beautiful blue planet. Earth as a reflection of our values. When we talk about the future of Earth, we are essentially discussing our values. How we treat nature, how we interact with other forms of life, and how we plan to use the planet's resources reflect our culture, philosophy, and ethical system. Earth is a mirror in which our choices are reflected. Our ability to preserve or destroy this home depends on the priorities we set for ourselves. For millennia, many philosophical and religious teachings have called for harmony with nature. In Buddhism, for example, the concept of interdependence among all beings serves as a reminder that any action against nature is, in essence, an action against ourselves. In Indian teachings, the principle of ahimsa, non-violence toward all living beings, underscores this idea. In Christianity, Earth is seen as a gift from God, a creation humanity is entrusted to steward wisely, ensuring its prosperity. These ancient teachings provide a pathway to a conscious life where nature is valued as a vital part of our existence. Modern ecological challenges force us to consider which values will be central to our future. Will we continue down a path of endless consumption and exploitation, or will we choose a path of respect, responsibility, and mindful interaction with nature? These questions are important not only from an environmental standpoint but also from a philosophical one, as they shape our way of life and our relationship with the world. Earth and global justice. One of the most crucial aspects of preserving Earth is global justice. Environmental problems affect all countries and regions of the planet, but their consequences are distributed unevenly. The poorest countries, which often contributed the least to these problems, are the most vulnerable to climate change and ecological disasters. Global justice requires us to recognize that economically developed nations, which have historically used more resources, must take on a greater responsibility for climate change and environmental destruction. This includes not only reducing greenhouse gas emissions but also helping less developed regions adapt to new conditions, restore ecosystems, and establish sustainable practices. Environmental justice also extends to future generations. We must acknowledge that our actions today will affect those who come after us. Rising carbon emissions, deforestation, and water and air pollution impact not only our present but also the future of humanity. We are obligated to pass Earth on to our children and grandchildren in a condition that allows them to enjoy its resources and beauty just as we do. Ecosystem services, the invisible support of life. Earth provides us with numerous services, often unnoticed until they are lost. These so-called ecosystem services include water filtration, oxygen production, pollination of crops, soil fertility maintenance, and more. Without these services, our civilization would not be able to exist. Many of these vital services, however, are under threat. The destruction of coral reefs and the decline of pollinators like bees can lead to massive consequences for food security and the economy. The loss of forests reduces Earth's ability to absorb carbon dioxide, accelerating climate change. We must recognize that nature is not merely a backdrop for human activity but a vital partner that supports us every step of the way. The ecosystems we live in provide everything necessary for our existence, and their destruction will lead to catastrophic consequences for all living beings. Therefore, the preservation of ecosystems and the restoration of lost natural areas must become a priority for the global community. The role of individual action, small actions with big impact. Many people may wonder how their individual actions can make a difference in protecting the planet. At first glance, it may seem that global problems like climate change, ocean pollution, or biodiversity loss are too vast for any one person to affect. However, small actions, when multiplied by millions of people, can lead to significant changes. Each of us can contribute to protecting the planet by starting with simple things. This might include reducing plastic use, choosing eco-friendly products, supporting companies that use renewable energy, or participating in community initiatives like urban greening and reforestation. It's also important to spread awareness about the importance of sustainable development and nature protection among friends, family, and colleagues. Environmental awareness is not just a set of actions but a way of life. A conscious approach to consumption, respect for nature, and efforts to reduce our ecological footprint all help create a new generation of people who not only adapt to changing conditions but actively work to improve them. Local and global initiatives, the power of collective efforts. The importance of collective efforts in protecting Earth cannot be overstated. Global environmental initiatives, such as the Paris Climate Agreement or the UN programs to protect biodiversity, play a key role in shaping international policy. But local initiatives, which operate at the level of individual regions, cities, and even villages, are equally important. Reforestation projects, river and lake cleanups, and the creation of wildlife sanctuaries to protect rare species are examples of local efforts that have a huge impact. These initiatives are often launched by groups of volunteers, enthusiasts, and activists working for the benefit of their communities and nature. Such projects demonstrate that protecting the planet doesn't always require massive budgets and resources, sometimes all it takes is commitment and perseverance. Examples of successful local initiatives include coral reef restoration projects or programs combating drought in Africa, which directly impact the lives of thousands of people. These projects help preserve not only nature but also the local communities that depend on natural resources for their survival. The wisdom of planetary unity. We live on a planet where everything is interconnected. Any action in one part of the world can affect another. Ocean pollution in one region can impact life elsewhere, and carbon emissions in one country can exacerbate global warming, affecting everyone. This understanding of unity helps us realize that our future depends on how well we can establish cooperation among nations and cultures. The wisdom of planetary unity lies in the understanding that we all share one planet. This philosophy calls for global cooperation, where each country and every person recognizes their responsibility toward Earth. As environmental challenges become more global, only collective efforts will help us overcome them. A cosmic perspective, Earth as the cradle of life. When astronauts first saw Earth from space, the sight left a lasting impression. The image of a small blue planet floating in the black void evoked a sense of awe and awareness of the fragility of life. This phenomenon, known as the overview effect, changes one's perception, making Earth appear as a single living organism rather than a collection of countries and continents. This cosmic perspective also reminds us that despite humanity's quest to explore other worlds, our planet remains the only known cradle of life. We may search for habitable planets in other star systems, but for now, Earth is our only home, and its preservation must be our top priority. Conclusion: the path to a bright future. Earth is not just a place on a map or a point in space. It is our shared home, supporting life in countless forms and giving us everything we need to survive. We bear a great responsibility to preserve this planet for future generations, to maintain its beauty and harmony, and to ensure its prosperity. The path to a bright future requires not only mindfulness and care but also action. It demands cooperation, innovation, and accountability. We must learn to live in harmony with nature, respecting its laws and striving to preserve all life. And if we can do this, Earth will continue to bless us with its gifts, remaining a home for all the beings that share it with us. The present and future of our planet are in our hands. Each of us can contribute to creating a world where humans and nature coexist in harmony, where Earth thrives, and where life continues to flourish for the benefit of all its inhabitants.